Since the black king is in the center of the board, the best way to proceed is to advance your own king thus. King e2, king d5, king e3. As the rook has not yet come into play, it is better to advance the king straight into the center of the board, not in front, but to one side of the other king. Should now the black king move to e5, the rook drives it back by rook h5, check. You can see that. King e5, then rook h5, check. On the other hand, if king c4, then also rook h5, forming a cage around the king. If now king b4, there follows king d3, but if instead king c3, then rook h4, keeping the king confined to as few squares as possible. Now the ending may continue. King c2, rook c4, check. King b3, king d3. Notice that the black king is quite trapped. King b2, rook b4, check. King a3, king c3, king a2. It should be noticed how often the white king has moved next to the rook, not only to defend it, but also to reduce the mobility of the opposing king. Now white mates in 3 moves, thus. Rook a4, check. King b1. And now the rook can go to any square on the a file. Let's say he goes to a8, forcing the black king in front of the white. King c1, and now you recognize what's happening. Rook a1, checkmate. It has taken 11 moves to mate, and under any conditions, I believe, it should be done in under 20. While it may be monotonous, it's worthwhile for the beginner to practice such things, as it will teach him the proper handling of his pieces.